So, with that comment, allow me to say that it's a great honor to stand before you today at this important gathering and this particular important moment. First of all, Nicolas, what a great conference. You should be proud of yourselves. And I think Nicosia can do more about this event. And I think that doubling our beds as of next year, we should be able to accommodate more people and make this event larger and reach new heights. This forum represents our collective commitment to strengthening our societies here in Cyprus and across the Eastern Mediterranean. It provides opportunity to address the pressing challenges of our time: economic growth, education, justice, healthcare, the environment, and democratic resilience, always with an eye to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the well-being of generations to come. Nicosia, our capital, embodies both the challenges and the opportunities of this mission. I see every day how important it is to build bridges between the public, private, and civic sectors. The Cyprus Forum, with its insistence on concrete results, offers the ideal platform for such cooperation. This year, however, the Forum also takes on a new and deeply meaningful dimension. An award has been and will be presented jointly by myself, Mr. Mehmet Harmanci, and Ms. Giulia Bertezzolo, recognizing individuals who, through their values, integrity, and lifelong service, advance democracy and peace in Cyprus. The award reflects our ongoing commitment to honoring and preserving the legacy of those who have dedicated their lives to these noble causes. It is both a celebration and a reminder that democracy and peace are not abstract ideals, but living principles made real through the efforts of individuals who choose courage over silence and cooperation over division. The nominees for this inaugural award speak for themselves. Mr. Xenophon Kallis, who led the service for missing persons at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for many years, and who recently sadly passed away at the age of 73. His tireless work was a testament to truth, reconciliation, and the healing of wounds in our society. And Ms. Turkan Aziz, the first Turkish Cypriot woman to serve as a head nurse, who passed away at the remarkable age of 102 years old. Through her service, she not only cared for lives, but also paved the way for women in her community, embodying the spirit of dedication and progress. By recognizing such individuals, we do not merely look back on their contributions, but we look forward. Their legacy challenges us to continue their work, to advance democracy, justice, and peace, and to strive for the Cyprus they envisioned, a society rooted in dignity, equality, and unity. And this brings us back to Nicosia. It remains the only divided capital in Europe. In all honesty, I hate this expression. I hate this definitive statement. I hate visitors returning from their visit in Nicosia back home, taking with them the image of barrels, derelict buildings, trees coming through roofs, and checkpoints. For too long, Nicosia has borne the burden of the unresolved Cyprus issue. Prevented from realizing its full potential, the city has grown introverted, its people constrained by makeshift solutions to a reality that was never meant to be permanent. Across the divide, in the coastal areas predominantly, we see investment, tourism, and growth, while Nicosia's unique multicultural beauty waits to be fully rediscovered. And I make a joke that others are counting revenues from sunbeds, and we are counting buildings that are falling down in the buffer zone. Whilst division is a permanent obstacle to planning, foreign direct investment, human psychology, and long-term vision, It is also an environmental and health hazard, as a broken infrastructure and uncontrolled collapse of buildings in the buffer zone, which form cultural heritage for Nicosia, is threatening the city, with Famagusta Gate flooding in 2016 and the walls of Nicosia collapsing in various places. This is why bi-communal cooperation matters so deeply. During my campaign and during last year's event, I pledged my readiness to work with Mehmet to deliver real positive results for all. I believe that with sincerity and determination, we can revive the spirit of the joint master plan, which once gave us a sewage treatment plant in Nyamilya. That cooperation slowed after 2001, but now is the time to bring it back, grounded in sustainability, aligned with the UN SDGs and the EU's green and smart transition agendas. Together we can pursue projects that make a difference, advancing waste management, expanding green spaces, supporting residents and businesses in the green transition, promoting renewable energy autonomy, encouraging health, sport, and animal welfare, expanding digital services. But these are general remarks. Bold steps are possible. The sustainable revival of the buffer zone, for which we now have an agreement, well thought and perfectly feasible plan. The transformation of the proposed UN bi-communal photovoltaic plant, supported by the EU, into a city-led project. The opening of new crossings to foster entrepreneurship and innovation around the Science Center of Excellence, and yes, a new car crossing in the eastern part of Nicosia, there as headed, and the development of a waste-to-energy facility for the entire city. Such initiatives require trust and sincere cooperation qualities I am confident Mehmet and I can cultivate. But they also require funding and the support of all stakeholders, from the United Nations to the European Union to civil society itself, if we are to move from ideas to reality. Within a few months of my election, following close collaboration between us, enormous pressure on Giulia and her team, and eventually their super valuable support, we have announced together with UNDP the extension of the PEDIOS Can Leader a project in the buffer zone and towards the north. We are very thankful for this support and we are ready for more. The easy path would be to fall back into the language of blame and division. I refuse to go down that road. Instead, I choose to look forward, to focus on building a city of peace, stability, and opportunity in a region so often marked by turmoil. Hope is built step by step through small but meaningful successes. I believe we can create more of those success stories together, Mehmet. Our joint presence in Brussels in a few days' time will strengthen our common message with or without a comprehensive settlement, and you know that my heart is with a comprehensive settlement. Nicosia has paid enough. It has paid enough. So with or without a settlement, we have to take steps. We cannot hold the burden for the other cities of Cyprus anymore. Thank you for your presence, for your commitment, and for your belief in dialogue and change. Congratulations to the awardees, and I look forward to what we can achieve together. Thank you.
Honorable speakers, esteemed guests, organizers, of course there's familiar faces around like Konstantinos. Always good to have Charalambos side by me, and Giulia with her enormous efforts to bring us together, to deliver more for Nicosia, for Cyprus, and of course Mr. Nava. We have worked really hard in the past, and we will get as much as what we can do from you. Of course, Nicolas is making a great job by Cyprus Forum, but we need to enlarge the forum across the wide. We need to enlarge the form with the constitutional language, Turkish, for example. We need to put more Turkish Cypriots into the process. How some of the topics that you are discussing is like from the space from us. So we need to be more engaged, we need to be more collaborative, but we will do whatever we can do to enlarge the forum, of course. Yes, Konstantinos, I'm going to eat the dinner. You cannot escape from me. But I will give you a festival when we have a united Cyprus basketball team play on the ground. Whoever they win or lost, I will give you a festival, don't worry. Look, I think today this is a very good opportunity to elaborate more. I think Charalambos put very good perspective about Nicosia, what we can do, and I'm looking forward for Brussels as well, because there is a few areas without a solution that we need to be more and more persistent, and we need to be more collaborative, like the cultural heritage, like the environment. We could do more. Yes, he didn't say publicly, but let's say Nicosia deserves a special budget line from EU to protect the conservation of Nicosia. Because this is the only bicommunal city in the world at the moment which is divided. And we need to protect our cultural heritage. We need to protect our environment. Whatever the European Union is going to fund the Republic of Cyprus about environment, as long as we pollute in the north, it will not work. So we need to cooperate. We need to work together. Today, yes, we are honoring the memories of 2 lives dedicated to pursuit of values humanity, needs to reimburse perhaps more than ever in modern history. Light in the midst of darkness, good in the midst of evil, and truth in the midst of ignorance, deception, and hypocrisy. Before getting into detail about 2 honorable names, at this moment, we need to realize that I don't know about Charalambos. By myself, I don't want to be remembered 25 years later that I have worked for peace. I want to be remembered that I built the peace together with this conference room, because there is so many people lived their life without seeing the solution of the Cyprus problem. And they worked really hard. So it's the time. It's the time to solve this problem. One of the person dedicated her life to the healed people wounds life. One dedicated his life to healing wounds thereafter. One cared for and honored the integrity of human life in this lifetime. One cared for and honored the integrity of human life thereafter. And somewhere in between. In an interview with Sergil Uludağ in 2004, Xenophon Kallis said, "For the first time in human history, the denial of human beings' existence has emerged. Because the missing person is neither alive nor dead. Whether we are alive or dead, we all belong to a community. Missing persons, however, exist in a kind of void. This is the first time in human history that such an existence has been encountered." He believed this was unacceptable and deep pain shared by Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots alike. He devoted his entire life to bring back into existence these people and to bring closure to their heartbroken families. Türkan Aziz, on the other hand, was a decorated nurse, highly respected by her peers and patients in both communities. After the war, she became a leader in the development of healthcare services in the Turkish Cypriot community. She also trained generation of nurses to serve humanity, following the same values she held so dear. I have also had the privilege of knowing Türkan Aziz in person. As a dear friend of my parents, I will always remember her as a global citizen. If not traveling, always glued to international news. She cared deeply not just about her people, but about humanity as a whole. The suffering of everyone mattered, regardless of geography, nationality, ethnicity, race, or religion. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to put a bomb to the room to make deep discussions, but in here, we need to understand and acknowledge the geopoliticals around. Winter is coming. If Cypriots are still in the summer nap, we are going to face the winter, unfortunately. If the pro-peace people around Cyprus is not going to step up and talk about the realities of the island, we are going to face the winter very badly. So it's time for each one of us to cooperate. It's time for each one of us to understand the difficulties that we are in, to understand what is the reality to overcome this problem. Because in your 15th Cyprus Forum, probably there will be somebody who's not going to pass the checkpoint in here. So it's an urgent matter of fact that we need to solve this problem for the sake of the Cypriots. We are now giving the prize of peace and democracy. And I would like to say one thing about geopolitical crisis about Israel and Gaza, Palestine. I'm not going to put anything about the solution of it. But at least we need to understand one thing. The war crime is a war crime in everywhere. Stop killing the innocents. Stop killing the kids. Stop killing the women. At least we can agree on this level. So I am really willing to cooperate with Charalambos for the sake of Nicosia. Charalambos is my friend, but he's the mayor of Nicosia. I'm going to say it. I worked with the mayor of Konstantinos for a long time. Although we are coming from two different camps, we delivered because we never blamed each other in front of public. We debate, we come to a conclusion. We never agree on many things, but we eat the fruit. Let's eat the fruit. Let's make Nicosia a cooperation. Let's make Cyprus Forum across divide. Let's make Nicosia is a democratic values and peace city. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. You may take your seat until I call you again to come back to collect your award. Sorry. We now invite Ms. Giulia Bertezzolo, head of the Cyprus Settlement Support Unit at the European Commission, to deliver a short address and to announce this year's awardees.
Thank you very much. Dear mayors, dear excellencies and participants, dear friends. Let me first congratulate Oxygen for Democracy for the Peace and Democracy Award. It's a refreshing initiative, especially in these turbulent and sometimes frightening times. Today, more than ever, we need to hear voices that can break the algorithm that keep proposing us the same negative narrative and makes us feel powerless. And I'm very pleased to speak after Mehmet, Charalambos, Konstantinos. I think they are the living example that fruitful and harmonious cooperation is possible and that it can make peace and democracy in Cyprus to progress. Today, we are celebrating the life engagement of two people, a woman and a man, who didn't settle for the status quo. Turkan Aziz, as it was said, managed to break down gender and ethnic barriers and work tirelessly to eradicate diseases and improve the health of all Cypriots. Xenophon Kallis dedicated his life to finding the remains of people who went missing during the events of 1963 and 1974. to give their families the possibility to find some closure. Their life example reminds us that peace is not an abstract concept, but is a daily practice. Peace is not a slogan or a statement, even if it's made with the best intention. Peace is something that you build every day with concrete actions of justice, of dialogue, of care, gestures of truth and responsibility. Peace is therefore not static. Turkan and Xenophon reached out to the people who surrounded them, and they went further to their communities, to all Cypriots, and as Mehmet said, globally. Peace implies moving towards the others. And peace is not static also in another sense. Building peace means being able to make compromises. It means finding a point of agreement between conflicting positions. And this implies taking into account the reasons of the other parties. Peace cannot be imposed, and it cannot survive if the position of one party prevails towards the one of the other. Frustration, sense of defeat, and exclusion are the best friends of conflicts. Our thoughts, of course, goes to the situation of Cyprus and to the path forward in finding a solution to the current division. What kind of future can we imagine for this island if not an inclusive one, where all feel empowered? Finding compromising is not a sign of weakness, quite the contrary. It's a sign of strength. It doesn't mean surrendering, but being able to listen and care about the others. And this is what the two awardees of today have done their whole life. So let me conclude by congratulating again Ms. Aziz and Mr. Kallis, their families and their communities for the Peace and Democracy Award 2025. Thank you for these two beautiful examples that show us how being human is not a passive condition. It is a duty that we have to fulfill every day.
Thank you, Ms. Bertezzolo. And now for the official presentation of the awards, I invite to the stage Mr. Nicolas Kyriakidis, Executive President and founding member of the Cyprus Forum, and Ms. Biyun Günes, founding Editor-in-Chief of Policy Press.
I just wanted to say thank you so much, Mr. Prountzos, Mr. Harmanci. I think that the stronger image I have in my mind from last year's forum was your image together. And I hope this becomes a tradition, and every year you come here, or whoever is after you. I just wanted to say that, I mean, nationalism and showing off power might be popular nowadays, but peace and friendship is even cool. It's more cool, I think. So we like that more. A few words about this award. So we established it last year, and it's an initiative to posthumously recognize those who devoted their lives to advancing democracy and peace on the island. And this award is not only a tribute to the individuals we honor, but also a reminder to all of us that that the foundations of democracy are strengthened by the courage, integrity, and sacrifices of those who came before us. Last year, we had the privilege of honoring Lena Melanidou and Osgeros Gyur, two remarkable figures who left a lasting legacy of justice and reconciliation. And as you've heard, this year, we recognize two inspiring individuals, Xenophon Kallis and Turkan Aziz. And I would like to call to the stage Mr. Prountzos and Mr. Harmanci to give the awards. Mr. Prountzos to give the award to the relative of Mrs. Turkan Aziz, and Mr. Harmanci to the relative of Mr. Kallis. And after the award, those who are here to receive the award, please share a few words, if you'd like, about Turkan Aziz and Xenophon Kallis. So may I invite to the stage the relatives who are here to receive the award. So first, Mr. Harmanci to give the award for Xenophon Kallis. Yes.
On behalf of the family, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for honoring Xenophon tonight. Our brother, in addition to his biological family, considered all missing persons as his family, dedicating his entire life to their cause. Throughout his life, he remained modest and humble, never seeking titles or positions. He was a beloved brother, deeply devoted to the family until the very end, and we are incredibly proud to have been a part of his life. Thank you.
Well, thank you to all our speakers and awardees for their inspiring words. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay.
I thought one was a relative of Xenophon Kallis and the other of Turkan-Aziz, but here is the relative of Turkan-Aziz. Congratulations with the award. We have Bilun here to translate. Please say a few words, and Bilun.
Are they working? Do you want to?
Merhabalar, ben Türkan Aziz Hanım'ın yeğenlerinden biriyim. Ayrıca Hasan arkadaş da aynı şekilde yeğeni oluyoruz. Tüm katılımcılara ve bu organizeyi yapan, emeği geçen herkese sonsuz teşekkürlerimizi iletiyorum.
Mr. Zia and Mr. Hassan are the cousins of Turkan-Aziz, and are expressing their deepest gratitudes for the organizers and the attendees of this event.
Türkan Aziz'in böyle bir yerde anılmasına çok sevinmiş bulunmaktayım ve gurur duymaktayım. Aile adına bu plaketi alıyorum gururla ve onu en iyi şekilde muhafaza edeceğiz.
I am deeply honored on behalf of Turkan-Aziz and the family, and I feel an extensive gratitude that her legacy is being appreciated on the stage and among yourselves. And we will be keeping this prize as a family possession.
Türkan Aziz tahsilini tamamladıktan sonra hemşire olarak tüm Kıbrıslılara üstün hizmetlerde bulunmuş bir şahıs olduğunu biliyorsunuz.
You already know that through her extensive medical help to this community, that she's one of the pioneers in her field.
Ancak burada aileden de biraz söz etmek istiyorum. Sayın Belediye Başkanı Mehmet Harmanci aileyi çok iyi tanıyor. Kız kardeşi ilk eczacılardan biri sayılmaktadır.
I'd also like to talk about the extensive family of Turkan-Aziz. Her sister is Kamuran Aziz is one of the first pharmacists in Cyprus.
Ancak burada baba Mehmet Aziz Bey'den de bahsetmek isterim. Muhakkak bileniniz de çoktur. Mehmet Aziz Bey, Larnaka kazasının Kalahoryo köyünde doğmuş bir kişidir.
And also her father, Mehmet Aziz, has been born in Larnaca, Kalahoryo village, and he has done extensive medical contributions to the community as well.
Tahsilini tamamladıktan sonra Kıbrıs'a gelerek sağlık alanında çalışmış ve en başarılarından dolayı en üst düzeye çıkmış bir kişidir.
Upon completing his medical studies by the first degree, he has arrived to this island to serve his community.
1930'lu yıllarda Kıbrıs halkını sıtma hastalığı kırıp geçiriyordu. Büyük bir problem idi. Bu Dünya Sağlık Örgütü tarafından bir proje düzenleniyor ve Malta, Kıbrıs gibi yerlerdeki bu hastalıktan kurtulmak istiyorlardı. Mehmet Aziz Bey'i bu projenin başında görevlendirildi. Zaten en üst düzeyde bir bürokratıdı ve tüm Kıbrıs halkına hizmet ederek herkesi bu hastalıktan kurtarmıştır.
In the 1930s, there was an epidemic of malaria disease, and the World Health Organization wanted to commission Mehmet Aziz through his bureaucratic work as well and his medical advances to come up with a plan and eradicate this disease from likes of Cyprus and Malta and likewise. And he has achieved this through this program, and he eradicated malaria from Cyprus.
Bugün birçok kaynaklarda Kıbrıs'ı sıtma hastalığından kurtaran adam diye geçmektedir, anılmaktadır. Ancak ne yazık ki gerekli Kıbrıs'ın tüm bölgelerinde gerekli ilgiyi de hatırlanmayı da görmediğine inanmaktayım. Ümit ederim ki bu akşamki bu güzel forumda nasıl ki böyle güzel şeyler dile getirilmiştir, onun da belki ümit ederim adı daha çok anılacaktır. Çünkü tüm Kıbrıs halkına büyük bir hizmette bulunmuştur.
Despite eradicating malaria from Cyprus, unfortunately his name is not well recognized, his legacy is not being well carried forward and not really well known. So platforms like these are really important to bring attention back to these people who've done many contributions for their communities. So he's expressing his gratitudes and hopes for the future that these names, these heroes of us, are recognized again.
Teşekkürler. Tüm katılımcılara, belediye başkanına ve bu organizeyi yapan herkese, katkı koyan herkese sonsuz teşekkürlerimi iletiyorum.
Thanking everyone and our mayors and the organizers of this event.
Let's please take a photo. Mr. Kallis, please come to the stage. Let's all come here. I can come further to this side.
Böyle buyurun.
Well, thank you. Thank you to all our speakers and awardees for their inspiring words. This concludes the official part of our opening ceremony, and we now invite you to join us for the networking event. I think you are all ready to do it. An opportunity to connect, exchange ideas, and begin conversations that will shape the coming days of the Cyprus Forum 2025. Ευχαριστώ, tesekure derim, and thank you and enjoy the evening.